What's up guys, Rader here with another Rader review. This time we're doing Ys 9, Monstrum Nox. This is actually only my second Ys game that I played. I played 8 and I've played this one. Mostly because I didn't really know about the series up until then. When 8 came out I was pretty interested to try it. I ended up liking 8 a lot. I loved that style of gameplay, I loved the system, so I was really interested in 9 and the story. And a lot of the artwork and things like that are very different between 8 and 9, but all the aspects of the game I really liked were there. And the art style for this is different because it's a little bit more gothic, it's a little more dark, and I like that too. So 8 was very bright and vibrant, it was very open, you know, it was on a big island, there was a lot of things to do. So it was very, very bright, very different. It was all about, you know, trying to build up and get a boat to get off this island. Whereas this was all about being in a city, and a lot of stuff takes place in that city, in that prison. So the demeanor was definitely different, which was really cool. So it's very rare that you play another game where the setting feels so different, and the setting to this feels a lot different than the last one. I don't know if they all hold that same flame, but these two, between the two, definitely feel different. What can I say about Ys 9? I liked it. I liked it a lot. I probably liked it a lot because I played the last one, but even if I came to this game fresh, you won't get some of the references. They did a lot, probably because this is number 9 in the series, and it all tracks and follows the same character, Adol Kristen. There's some references that you're not going to get. They're going to talk about some things that you're like, what? Because if you haven't played the other games, you don't know. They did a really cool job, I guess because it's been so long since they started, that they did a lot of montages to different things that he had done before. And some things that he had done before came up in this one a lot, especially with like the city and the prison and other things. So it was kind of cool. So it was kind of cool as someone who was new, but only knew back one game, that when they were talking about different things, because they talked about things that happened in the game I played, I knew what they were talking about. So I got that kind of concept, and that was really cool. So you're going to miss a little bit of that. But in general, the game overall, the story stands completely on its own. Which is pretty impressive for games that have, you know, the same main character basically through all the games. This one was very, like I said, it stands very much on its own. Same thing with 8. When I played 8, I didn't feel like I was missing anything by not playing the other 7 games. I felt like I was playing a complete story, and it worked, and it was done well done. I like this. Word of warning. This is a very, very much traditional JRPG in the concept of that it's very story driven. It's very story based. There's a lot of dialogue, both spoken and read, and you can skip it if you really want to, but I think it makes the story, like it makes the game. I really enjoy a good story. I really enjoy good telling, and where you can, you know, develop emotions towards the characters, and you want to see what happens to them, and you're interested in things going on in their lives. And this game does a really good job of that. You know, there's only a couple characters that I was kind of like, I don't really care what happens to them. Most of the characters I was like, yeah, what's going on? What's your story? What's your backstory? What's, you know, where you're going kind of thing. And they not only give you like up to the end of this game, but then the actual credits, if you pay attention and watch the credits, there's little scenes happening in the background, so you can kind of see on where their lives kind of went after. And I love that kind of stuff. I'm always in for that. I will say that when I first picked up this game, I saw a bunch of reviews about the difficulty and how it's a lot easier than previous games. So I play it on hard, and I normally don't do that. I usually play on normal, and I just, you know, play for the story, and I don't really care about having a challenge. But I put it on hard, and it was like easy for me. Like I ran through everything I was able to, you know, as long as you kept up with your upgrades and your weapons, you know, generally speaking, I walked through most of it. I S-classed all the Grimwald Noxes, which are these like battles and areas. Like each one of the games has these kind of, at least the past 2, 8, and 9 had these little area battle things, and you get graded on them. And I S-classed all of them on the first run. I didn't have to do any of them again to get the S-class and the new materials and stuff. So that was kind of weird. Sorry, guys. So it was weird. So yes, I played on hard, so I would suggest if you like a challenge, play on Nightmare. Play on the hardest difficulties, because in hard, it was not a challenge. Like, I ran through it with no real issue at all, which, like I said, is kind of cool. But yeah, definitely give yourself a challenge if you want it. Other than that, the gameplay is fantastic. It's very action-based, but it's very RPG. You can set your own skills. You can pick which ones you like using. You can, there's a bunch of different ways to enhance your characters with armor, weapons, and accessories. But then beyond that, there are items you can find that you can give each character that specifically enhances defense and attack and your life points and things like that. And, beyond that, there's food. Like, I didn't even bother, because hard was like easy mode for me, I didn't even bother eating. Like, eating was a big game in 8, where I never really left the base and traverse the island without having a meal that gave you bonus stats. And in this game, I don't think I ate once. I don't think I gave myself bonus stats at all, but you can't. So there's so many different mechanics that I think they definitely needed to increase the difficulty a little bit, because you could easily overpower yourself. But if you like a good game that's story-driven and just fun to play, this has it in spades. The gifts were really cool. New ways to traverse the city and the areas, I thought, was a really good touch they hadn't done in a lot of the other games. And it made the verticality of the city more fun to traverse. It made finding hiding spots a little more tricky. We had to look a couple up that I knew I was missing. But overall, it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I can't really say enough about it. This is Ys. If you've ever played an Ys game, you're going to love this game. If you haven't played an Ys game, but you like JRPGs, you like roleplay games, you like story, you like games with good music, the music's always phenomenal in Ys games. It's one of the things that most people tout about Ys games. Like, if you go look them up, that the music's really good. Every area you go into has a different soundtrack. So it always feels fresh and different and vibrant. The dungeons always have like a nice upbeat kind of story going on, or music going on. So you always feel like you want to be in there. You want to be, attacking and doing things and beating up bad guys, because that's just the way the music gets you hyped. So I can't say enough good things about it. I had a lot of fun. I didn't really, personally, the only things I didn't really like was there's an aspect of the game where you play as kind of a locked level character at certain times. Without spoiling too much, I'll mention it. You play as like a locked level character, and there are a bunch of traps and stuff that got a little frustrating at times if you had to figure out how to get around that trap, in that area without being leveled enough to actually take on this stuff. That was a little frustrating a couple times, but, we got through it pretty quickly. And other than that, there was really no frustrations. I enjoyed it. There's so many things to collect and do. This game is really, the main character is considered an adventurer, is touted as an adventurer, and exploration is a big part of these games, and I love exploring in games. So opening up your map, but just opening up your map, A, has the benefit of opening a map, obviously, but B, there's someone you can talk to that as you open up your map, he's going to give you stuff, free stuff, just for opening up the map. And then there's interest points all over the place, and there's a guy you can talk to get free stuff from your interest points. And there's a guy you can talk to for collecting different things. So there's petals to collect in this game, and graffiti on the walls and the buildings and stuff. And each one of those things has someone you can talk to who's interested about it and will give you free stuff or do free things for you. And then your companions, you can completely ignore them, or you can go the route of going out and finding gifts for them and buying those gifts and giving it to them to expand their story. So, like, if you're interested in doing different things and not just, fighting or just talking and going out and doing other things, it has all kinds of stuff for that, which I love. I love any game that gives me options to break up the monotony. Like, I feel like if I'm attacking and just battling for too long, I get bored. Or if I'm just sitting through cutscenes and I'm not doing anything, I get bored. And this game has a really nice flow where it definitely, it talks for a while, but then you get to fight for a while. Or you can ignore all that and just traverse the city and find stuff that you're interested in finding. And it gives you a bunch of different ways to do that. So you're never pegged. I never felt like I was pegged into having to do one thing a particular way, and that was it. And I had to do it all the time. Didn't feel like that at all. There was always different ways to do things. It was always a lot of fun. So, but yeah, so that's my point. If you like Ys, you're gonna love this. It's another Ys Games classic. They added a bunch of cool new features. All of them melded well with the gameplay. They were great. If you like JRPGs, you're going to love this. If you like RPGs in general and you like listening to story a little bit, or if you want to skip story, still play it. It's a good time. The combat was great. All the extra stuff was always fun. And, it was just cool to hear the story and listen to it and watch these characters grow from when you first walk up into the city to when you're, walking away. So, I had a lot of fun. Nothing but good things to really say about it. And if you're interested or even on the fence, go ahead and pick it up. The only thing I do suggest is flipping it on hard if you played RPGs at all. And if you look at any reviews, everyone pretty much says the same. But if you want to be able to walk on everything and be a god from get, keep it on normal or put it on easy. I have no idea what easy is going to look like because hard was easy for me. And that's not bragging. I normally only ever play on normal. I'm saying that this game was so easy in that rating system that normal felt like I put the game on easy. Like I just watched the story and fought a little bit. So it is what it is. I think it's great. You guys should try it. And as always, that's kind of my review. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to stop by the Twitch channel. We stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. We'd love to have you by. And hopefully you'll check out more games like Ace. I love RPGs. It's kind of where I sit on my channel when I can. But I also like trying some other stuff. So we'll see what's next. Thanks, guys. And we'll see you next time.